Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. I have been keeping up to date with what's been going on with him on a regular basis. Also too as well going to be giving you the news on Alexis Sanchez. Then I am going to be talking with you a bit more about Paul Pogba. Then I'm going to be giving you the latest news on Jude Bellingham. There is actually negativity coming out regarding Jude Bellingham, from a Manchester United perspective and that. So let's start with the news on Sancho and Alexis Sanchez. So according to recent reports, we have offered Borussia Dortmund Alexis Sanchez in a swap deal for Jadon Sancho. And this is stemming from Mundo Deportivo saying, that we're interested in swapping Sanchez for Jadon Sancho and that. But actually, Alexis Sanchez's wages, could be the stumbling block of him going to Borussia Dortmund as part of a swap deal of Jadon Sancho coming to Man United, because Sanchez's wages at Manchester United are 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. As you all know, at the moment, Alexis Sanchez is out on loan at Inter Milan. Like I said, he's endured a very, very difficult time at Inter Milan. I think, he has been now with injury and that. Don't forget as well, Sanchez did endure a difficult 18 months at Manchester United. Don't forget, we got Sanchez as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan, going to Arsenal back in January 2018. And Sanchez, did not live up to expectations as we all thought he would have done. I thought when we got him, it would have been an exceptional sign, reflecting on what he did in his 3.5, 4 years with Arsenal. Also, too, he played under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger at Barcelona and that. But he didn't rediscover the form at Man United, what he produced at Arsenal and Barcelona, and he's also been very, very poor for Inter Milan. Sanchez is facing a dilemma because obviously, Inter Milan don't want to get him permanently. We don't want him back at Manchester United. Despite the fact that he's on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. I think, we're paying Sanchez around £300,000 a week. Something like that, and Inter Milan are paying like the other 100-odd thousand. Sanchez's contract with Man United runs until 2022. So there you go, and that. So there have been the stories coming out today about a swap deal involving Alexis Sanchez and Jadon Sancho and that. So, the news is on Jadon Sancho. As you all know, he is our number one priority target, is Jadon Sancho. Now, Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. They have said that they do want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho. But we said not too long ago we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. Did come out the other week saying that we're only willing to spend 60 or 70 million pounds on Sancho, but neither of them figures are going to be enough to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him. You had David Ornstein, who is a very credible journalist. He came out the other week and he said there's a very high chance that Sancho will join Man United in the summer transfer window, and we still remain the favourites to sign the player. And I think Jadon Sancho's preferred option is a transfer to Manchester United if he does decide to leave Borussia Dortmund and that. Now, obviously, like it reported out earlier on this week, it did say that Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United could depend on Manchester City having their European ban upheld. Manchester City are banned from Europe for the next 2 years. I think their 2-year European ban will be watched by CAS next month. So we'll know the outcome maybe on the 8th, the 9th or the 10th of June and that, something like that. So, that could play a part in it as well. That could also play a part in it. Like I said, we are willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7. Like I said, we have got a number 7 vacant at the moment, but, we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations and that. Yes, we have. But it remains uncertain, whether Jadon Sancho is going to be leaving Dortmund in the summer transfer window and that. He could stay at Dortmund until next summer. Sancho's got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Dortmund, if they sell him, they'll make a huge profit on the player because they only paid £7 or £8 million in for Man City, was it? So they're hoping to make like a £92 million profit. Jadon Sancho, this has been his third season with Borussia Dortmund. Since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation. He really, really has. And Borussia Dortmund is the third club in his playing career, because before he was at Borussia Dortmund, he was at Manchester City. He enjoyed a few years at Manchester City, but the main explanation why he left Man City is because he didn't get any first team opportunities. And also, too, before he was at City, he was at Watford. He began his footballing career at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years with Jadon Sancho. But reflects on his good performances with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown as Jadon Sancho's. Now, don't forget, the Bundesliga returned recently. They've played 3 games since it resumed, the Bundesliga. And a lot of United fans have also been talking about, Sancho as well, because he has been benched. He was benched in Borussia Dortmund's 4-0 win against Schalke. He was benched in Borussia Dortmund's 2-0 win against Wolfsburg. And he was benched yesterday in Borussia Dortmund's 1-0 defeat to Bayern Munich, but he did come off the bench. Don't forget, Jadon Sancho's recently had a calf injury in that. So there you go. So there you go in that. Like I said, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club, because they have sold quite a few of their players, to the Premier League in recent years. Don't forget they let a Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go to Arsenal. They also, let Christian Pulisic go to Chelsea. They let Ilkay Gundogan go. They let Shinji Kagawa go. They also let Mkhitaryan go. There's players as well that they let go who didn't go to the Premier League, and that was Ousmane Dembele and Matt Hummels and that. So they are known as a selling football club. But don't forget, we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contract for quite some time, and we've also, been in negotiations with his agent. We first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho in 2017, and this was before he went to Borussia Dortmund. Sancho's predominantly a right winger, and don't forget, Man United are in search for the right winner in that. And like I said, he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. And this is, one of the beneficial things about us, recommending him in. And he's also, well proven in the Premier League. But if he does stay at Dortmund, I think he'll only stay another season. Then he will go in the summer of 2021. There hasn't only been us that have been in for him. Don't forget Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea have obviously, been in for him. But now Chelsea are looking at an alternative for Sancho. Liverpool and that have been in for him. We've had a couple of alternatives, to Jadon Sancho. So if we don't get Sancho, we'll look to get an alternative. Don't forget, we've looked at Rabbi Matondo in recent weeks from Schalke. He's one player we've looked at as an alternative to Sancho and that. So there you go. So that is the latest news on that. So now let's give you the breaking news on Jude Bellingham. So I want to give you some news on him, then I'll delve into the news on Paul Pogba. So these reports are stemming from Germany, and they have said that Jude Bellingham has rejected Manchester United, and he does want to join Borussia Dortmund, and reportedly he has agreed to join Borussia Dortmund as Jude Bellingham. Obviously, a couple of months ago, it did say from the German press that, Borussia Dortmund were the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. Probably Borussia Dortmund are seeing Jude Bellingham as an adequate replacement for Jadon Sancho. Now, there was a lot of stories coming out regarding Jude Bellingham a couple of weeks ago, saying that, we've made a promise to Jude Bellingham if he signs for Manchester United in the summer. Don't forget, we did say we are willing to put him, we are willing to offer him a senior role. So we're immediately, we'll make him a first team player if he does sign for Manchester United in the summer transfer window. Jude Bellingham, is going to cost him, the £30 million range, because this is what Birmingham are demanding. Don't forget, back in March, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground. Don't forget, he held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. Also, too, Ed Woodward had negotiations with Jude Bellingham's parents. So, reflecting on that fueled speculation up. So, there you go. Like I said, this has been Jude Bellingham's first season in the senior squad with Birmingham, and I've got to make an admission, he has been a revelation in the Championship as Jude Bellingham. He's played persistently this season. I think he's played around 30 odd games in all competitions this season for Birmingham. I think he's expected to sign his professional contract once he turns 17. I think he turns 17 next month, does Jude Bellingham, because he is only the age of 16 at the moment. Don't forget Bellingham, became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham because he made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. It also mentioned the other week that we wanted to get Jude Bellingham's brother as part of the deal of getting Jude Bellingham. And his brother is called Joe Bellingham, and he's only at the age of 15. So reportedly he's reached an agreement with Dortmund, and now he wants to join Dortmund, and he's rejected Manchester United. But there's been, a few clubs that have been in for Jude Bellingham and that. Few clubs that have been in for him. But his current salary at the moment is only £145 a week. So there you go. But Jude Bellingham's been spoken a lot about, because Jude Bellingham, has been one of our priority targets as well. He's been one of our priority targets. Now, let's delve into the news on Paul Pogba. I have been talking with you a lot about Paul Pogba on a regular basis. So, I've been reading recent reports today, and reportedly Juventus have made an admission, they've made an admission saying, it's going to be impossible for them to re-sign Paul Pogba this summer because obviously, they can't match our valuation because we've said if we want to sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window, we do want at least £100 million because like I mentioned before, it's very imperative that we get more for Pogba than what we paid for him because we did pay £89 million for him back in 2016. As it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing. And I think also too, Juventus are struggling to meet his wage demands, not only his valuation, because he's on 15 million a year at Manchester United, is Paul Pogba. I think also he said that Paul Pogba needs to take a pay cut from his 11 million a year wage demands to make a return back to Juventus. So now reflects on this, it's looking likely that Paul Pogba's staying at Manchester United. I always said that anyway, Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United next season, but I don't know about the foreseeable future. Like I've said to you, I haven't really had a perception on Paul Pogba this season because he hasn't really played for the football club because obviously he was out with injury, was out with an ankle injury. He's only played 8 times this season. The last game he did play was our 4-1 win against Newcastle. And the last time he started from the start was back in September. But the good news is now that Paul Pogba's back. Obviously, we've got Marcus Rashford. That's now back from his back injury. Because Solskjaer's confirmed that Rashford and Pogba are going to be fit for when the football season does resume and that. So I haven't really had a perception on Paul Pogba throughout the course of this season. Now, I mentioned Paul Pogba on my video yesterday night and Manchester United legend Teddy Sheringham, he gave his verdict, on Paul Pogba. And he actually, says that Paul Pogba is lacking the Roy Keane factor. And he says, Paul Pogba can go. And he says, Manchester United need to get a replacement with the right mentality and the right desire and all of that. Because Teddy Sheringham is aware of how inconsistent Paul Pogba has been for Manchester United. And let's be honest, the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison to his ones, when he was at Juventus because Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus and that. Don't forget, Paul Pogba's recently been training, alongside Bruno Fernandes. But I'm very, very excited about the prospect of Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Very, very excited about that because they've not yet had the chance to play together in our midfield. They haven't had the chance. It did reveal not too long ago that Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, was in discussions with Juventus. Mini Raiola's held talks with Real Madrid as well. Like I said, we've been very, very critical of Mini Raiola since the turn of the year, reflecting on some of his comments and that. I think also Ed Woodward has had negotiations with Mini Raiola. Now, there's still reports saying that Real Madrid are interested in him. Don't forget last summer, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba, but reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, we wanted £180 million, and this was the main explanation why Pogba's move to Madrid didn't materialise, because, Real Madrid were not willing to meet our valuation. But Paul Pogba did make the admission last summer. He did say, he wanted to leave Manchester United. He publicly admitted it. And he did say, he was seeking for a new challenge and all of that. And, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about, his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane, etc., etc. But swap deals have been on the agenda as well because, Juventus in like recent weeks and months, have offered, quite a few of their players, to try and get Paul Pogba. There's been talks of Adrian Rabiot. There's been talks of There's been talks of Aaron Ramsey. There's been talks of Miralem Pjanic. There's been talks of Douglas Costa. There's been talks of Federico Bernardeschi. There was also talks about Matthijs de Ligt coming in as part of a swap deal. But, like I said, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. In recent weeks, Inter Milan and PSG have been in for Pogba as well, don't forget. Barcelona have also been in for him before. Paul Pogba's got a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. And don't forget, Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but a lot of players, endured a very, very difficult... Well, a lot of top players, sorry, or should I say all the top players endured a difficult time under the Mourinho era, because Jose Mourinho has got a bad reputation with top players. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger. You can say we made a mistake getting rid of him when he was younger, but, we had to get rid of him due to limited appearances and that. So there you go. But I think Solskjaer wants Pogba to stay. Before the football season got suspended, Solskjaer, did say that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United. But there has been players on our agenda that could replace him, if he does decide to leave the football club in the summer transfer window. But it came out last week saying that, Juventus were close to re-signing Paul Pogba and that. He's only the age of 27, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Pogba. So there you go. So there you go and that. So that is the latest news on Paul Pogba. By the way, just want to confirm that Manchester United have borrowed £140 million to boost our cash funds, for new arrivals. So we've loaned £140 million, obviously, to help us in that in the summer transfer window. And I think Solskjaer's been given a £150 million transfer bonus as well. Don't forget, we're looking to offload players in the summer transfer window. So obviously, we'll generate money in that way as well. We're looking to offload a good 6 or 7 players in the summer transfer window. I think the players we're going to get rid of, I think we're going to get rid of Phil Jones. We're going to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We're going to get rid of Andres Pereira because they're very, very inconsistent. We could possibly get rid of Diego Dalot as well. Paul Pogba, I think he'll stay, but, it's not fully assured he's going to stay, but I think he will. Sanchez, maybe this swap deal could go through, but if it doesn't, then I think we'll probably loan Sanchez back out. We'll find it difficult to get rid of him permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. I think Smalling and Rojo will go on permanent transfers because Smalling's out on loan at the moment with Roma. You've got Rojo that's out on loan at Estudiantes. Don't forget, recent reports did confirm that we've lowered Chris Smalling's asking price. I think we want around 17 or 18 million pounds for Smalling. At first I think we wanted in the 20 odd million pound range. I think Roma want to get Smalling permanently because he's done well since he's gone out on loan with Roma, and Paulo Finesca has been talking a lot about Smalling. He's the Roma boss, and he even said that Smalling wants to stay. And quite a few weeks ago, Paulo Finesca was talking about how professional and how amazing, Chris Smalling is in that. But we won't take him back at Manchester United. And I think we've said we want around £12 million to get rid of Rojo permanently. I think Estudiantes want to get him permanently. And I think, Boca Juniors are interested in getting him. The news on Angel Gomez. I did say to you, didn't I, that, it's looking like Angel Gomez is going to be leaving the football club at the end of next month when his current contract does expire, Angel Gomez. because obviously, there's been no signs of him signing a new contract, like I mentioned the other week. We've put forward a few contract offers for Angel Gomez, but he has turned these down. We offered him a £25,000 a week one. We offered him a £30,000 a week one, but he turned these down. But social media, it was stemming from social media, like he updated you a couple of days ago, allegedly saying that Angel Gomez has signed a new contract at Man United, and we are waiting for confirmation. We want to keep Angel Gomez at the football club because, we do believe he's a foreseeable future for Man United, but his appearances have been limited. He's only made 6 first-team appearances this season as Angel Gomez and that. But I think Angel Gomez has got reservations, about, getting into the first team and that, and this is maybe why, he does want to move on. There's teams that are in for him. Chelsea have been in for him in recent weeks. Arsenal have also been in for him now. Well, should I say Chelsea have been in for him for the last couple of months and that. I think we're going to be loaning James Garner out as well. Because his appearances have also been limited at the football club. Maybe there's a possibility, chance we could get loan to Heath Chon out because his appearances have also been limited. But yeah, we're going to get rid of a good 6 or 7 players in the summer transfer window. We're going to get rid of 6-7 players in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the dead wood since he got recommended into the football club. I think he's got rid of like, is it 8 or 9 senior players? And I think around 10 of young ones went. So in total, he's got rid of around 19 players as Solskjaer. So that's obviously, very, very good. That's very, very good in that. So there you go. Obviously, I've been giving you the news on Odion Ighalo recently as well, haven't I? I mentioned Odion Ighalo on my video that I did this morning. There's been reports saying that Odion Ighalo is likely to leave Manchester United at the end of this week because his current loan spell does expire on the 31st of May, which is on Sunday. I think Odion Ighalo's made a plea. He's made a plea, to Shanghai Shenhua, he's made a plea to Shanghai Shenhua, to keep. He's made a plea to Shanghai Shenhua to allow him to stay at the football club and that. I think Odion Ighalo does want his loan deal at Manchester United extended, also to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanting to stay at the football club. I think it did mention that we were looking to extend Odion Ighalo's loan for the further 3 months, but reportedly Shanghai Shenhua had turned this proposal down. Odion Ighalo's agent, by the way, came out this morning, I think it was, and he said that Odion Ighalo is close to agreeing a contract extension with Manchester United and that. So there you go. It did, as far as I'm aware, we have not yet made an offer to Shanghai Shenhua apparently, but we have been in negotiation with Shanghai Shenhua over extending Odion Ighalo's loan or even possibly getting him on a permanent transfer. Shanghai Shenhua did say a couple of weeks ago that they do want around £20 million to let him go permanently, or was it £30 million? But maybe we've got reservations about paying £20 or £30 million to get him permanently. But I think Solskjaer wants Odion Ighalo to stay permanently, or at least get his loan extended. Don't forget Shanghai Shenhua have offered him a 3.5-year deal with £400,000 a week to convince him to turn down a permanent move to Man United. We got Odion Ighalo in January. We paid around £4 million, 3 or 4 million, to get him on loan. And like I said, he's enjoyed a good start to his Man United career. He has got 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. And like I mentioned, he has been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford and that. So yeah, we've got to make a decision on Odion Ighalo, but it's looking, very, very likely that he is, going to be going back to Shanghai Shenhua, because Shanghai Shenhua did say that they expect Odion Ighalo to return in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season and that. But if he is to go back, then obviously, we need a striker, and there has been a lot of strikers on our agenda, don't forget. So there you go. By the way, Solskjaer has said the win against Lask, the 5-0 win against Lask. This was obviously, before the season got suspended. will help Manchester United play behind closed doors and that. Because obviously, we've got that experience of playing against Lask because we played behind closed doors in that 5-0 win against Lask in the Europa League and that. So Solskjaer's also mentioned this. Like I said, the season's supposed to be resuming next month. We haven't actually agreed a date yet. Different dates and that have been mentioned, but it's going to resume sometime in June. Obviously, there has been talks of it, now resuming on the 26th of June. Some reports have said, it could resume on the 19th. Some reports have said it could resume on the 18th. And some reports have said it could resume on the 12th of June. It basically all depends on the fitness levels and that. Don't forget, we've named a 29-man squad for when, the season does resume and that. So we have got a fully fit squad, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer confirmed a couple of weeks ago. A lot of clubs up and down the country recently returned to training. We returned to training last Wednesday and that. The Premier League did confirm last Monday, the other week, that, clubs had voted to return to smaller training groups. And like I said, that was the first step to resuming the season. Now, recently, recently clubs have voted to return to contact training groups. So this is something else, they have voted on and that. So definitely, the season is resuming. Like I said, the season's been suspended now. Is it for a good 9 or 10 weeks or something like that? It's been suspended. It's been suspended since the 13th of March and that. But the good news is, it's going to be, resuming. Tottenham and Man United is the first game, first Premier League game back, and it is going to be live on Friday Night Football. So that is very, very good, definitely in that. And I think the La Liga, by the way, is going to be resuming on the 8th of June. Like I said, there's decisions Manchester United have got to make before the season resumes and that. Like I said, there's things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on. You can say he needs to work out his best formation because he has been changing formation persistently this season. He's been going with a 4-2-3-1 a lot. He's been going with the 4-3-3, the 3-5-2. From my own perception, will look more expansive with that 3-5-2 formation. But he's mainly been going with that formation against, the big six sides. Like I said, we've done really, very, very well against the big six sides this season. Needs to work out his best 11. But Solskjaer's been making a lot of rotation this season. But he has been making a lot of rotation, reflecting on, the amount of injuries that Man United have had and that. So there you go. There's 9 games remaining in the season. And there's 92 games to play in all competitions. Don't forget, we are chasing that top 4. And that top 4 is a priority for us. Because we want qualification for the Champions League for next season. The FA Cup and the Europa League are 2 priorities for us. Because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer. That's a big chance for us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer. Because we haven't won out yet in terms of silverware yet under Solskjaer. So if we could win the FA Cup and the Europa League, or even at least one of them, it would be a memorable first full season for Solskjaer. But we're into the last 8 of the Europa League, and we're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and that. So there you go. Like I said, we're going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least another season at the football club. And give him at least a couple of more transfer windows because he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Solskjaer's been at the football club now for, 17 months or just over. So he has been here now for over a year. And it is a transition period. And like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period and that. But he knows he's got much bigger expectations to exceed, for next season and that. But, we've got decisions to make in the summer transfer window, who we're going to recommend in and what players are we going to get rid of. Solskjaer's looking to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window, but I don't see that happening. We could make 1 or 2, but I don't think we'll make 3 or 4. And Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up and that. There's a lot of uncertainty, though, for the summer transfer window. Our latest financial figures got revealed last Thursday when Ed Woodward had spoken to investors on a conference call. Like I said, our debt had risen up by almost £130 million. Like I said, our net debt now is around £429.1 million, with the club no longer predicting revenues of up to £580 million. And like I said, the coronavirus pandemic has cost us around £28 million. But but we do expect the final figure to be much higher than that. Ed Woodward even came out last month and said, we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So he basically ruled out big transfers to Man United, and he did say, we won't be spending hundreds of millions of pounds and that. So there you go. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward. Like I said a few times this season, Ed Woodward. We've been very, very critical of Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward has been here since 2012. We've been critical of Ed Woodward, reflecting on... We've been critical of Ed Woodward, reflecting on, how poor our recruitment policy's been in the last 6 or 7 years. We've criticised him, for the poor selection of managers because, we've sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era: David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era and that. So, yeah, we've been very, very critical of Woodward. The Glazers, we've also been very, very critical of them. The Glazers have been here since 2005, so it's 2020 now. So the Glazers have been at Man United for around 15 years. I think we've paid approximately 1.5 billion for the privilege of being owned by the Glazers and that. Some people think this is outrageous. I think the Glazers have received close to £200 million. Don't forget, the Glazers have got no intentions of selling the football club and that. Like I've said to you, I have seen improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, there's players that have improved under him. I think we've definitely improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer as well. We spent £220 million on 5 players under Solskjaer. So there you go. So I've definitely seen improvements under him. Don't forget, Solskjaer did say before the season got suspended what he'd changed since he replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018. I don't know if Solskjaer's a foreseeable future for the club, but time will tell. Can we get our 21st title under Solskjaer? But we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season, but we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years or so. By the way, you already know the news on Grealish. I give you the news on Grealish, didn't I? He's another one of our priority targets as well, is Grealish. So, yeah. But Solskjaer's transfer limit did get set not too long ago, and it says, we're only willing to pay £60 or £70 million for any player and that. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.